Okay, this evening I'm joined here, the Chief Barbara West, Commander Kevin Johnson, Commander Kevin Duffin of Detective Division, Alderman Jason Irvin, Deputy Chief Eric Carter of Special Functions, members of CPD Dive Team, members of the 11th District police officers also. Throughout every police officer's career, we're all witness to things that most people shouldn't see once in a lifetime, let alone on a regular basis for decades. Some incidents create a lasting memory, and last year on Labor Day weekend, 2-year-old Kyrian Knox became one of those memories. Over that weekend, the Chicago Police Department divers recovered Kyrian's remains from the lagoon here in Garfield Park. Back then, we said we would not give up until we brought his killer to justice. Today, I'm proud to say that we have kept our promise. It was through a meticulous investigation, sorting through witnesses, evidence, and dedicated police work that brought us here today, and it echoes the dedication and professionalism that takes place every single day in CPD. I'm going to bring up Area North Detective Commander Kevin Duffin in a moment to give you the specifics of the case. But I want to thank him. I want to thank the Area North detectives who worked on the case, the CPD dive team for their outstanding work to not only recover Kyrian, but to bring some closure to his family and friends. I'd also like to thank the Winnebago County, Illinois Sheriff's Department for their assistance in the case. Now I'd like to ask Commander Duffin to come up and give you the specifics of
it. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all my people who worked on this. Numerous detectives worked on it over the last 14 months. Primarily, though, Detective Kate Naninga and Detective Michael Kennedy. They were the primary detectives on it, and they worked very, very hard on it and brought it to a successful conclusion today. Without getting into too many of the specifics, we have physical evidence in the form of biological evidence recovered from a vehicle. We took the vehicle that the suspect was driving primarily back in November of last year, executed a search warrant, recovered the baby's blood from the carpeting in the vehicle. Those results came back in, I want to say, July or August of this year. Almost simultaneously, we developed several third-party witnesses who had inside information that only the killer would have known. Those witnesses were locked in at the Cook County Grand Jury. We've spent the last several weeks conversing with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office and the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office. Although we believe Kyrian was killed in Rockford, due to the vast amount of evidence here in Chicago and the fact that Chicago police had done most of the investigation, it was determined that he would be charged here in Cook County.
Just a moment. Just a moment.
I'm sorry. He's not yet charged. He's under arrest. Kamel Harris, who was the person that was watching the baby back in and reported the baby missing to the Rockford police back in September of 2015. The baby had been entrusted to him by the baby's mother, and like I said, he made a false report to the Rockford police that the baby had gone missing.
So do you at this point know, and maybe...
Guys, one more. We're going to hear from the divers before we do questions.
I'll bring Sergeant Romero up.
Good evening. I'm Sergeant Romero from Chicago Police Marine Unit. We received the call on the first day of a foot possibly floating in the lagoon here. We arrived and recovered that foot and found it to be real. There was question of whether it was not real or not. So we arrived on scene, and after recovering it, we did discover that it was real. At that point, we started a systematic search of the shoreline there. at which time we recovered another foot and 2 more hands. It's a very tough situation that we were dealing with there. Conditions got late and we were not able to continue our search at that time. So the next day, we started the search again, and at that time we recovered the head. It was pretty difficult to deal with, probably one of the most difficult things I've dealt with in my 29 years on the job here. But without the help of the rest of the Marine Unit officers here, who put a lot of hard work into dealing with, especially with the conditions that were at hand, it was very tough. So, a lot of credit to them.
Sargento, ¿podría decir en español, contarnos en español cómo fue ese momento para ustedes?
Superintendent, at one point, Harris
El español no está muy bueno para decir todo eso. Perdón.
At one point, Harris was not being cooperative with police. At what point did that turn, or has he never been cooperative with police? Still hasn't been cooperative.
Kamel Harris is not cooperative. Upon being taken into custody last night, he immediately requested counsel, and he's not given any statement.
Commander, can you talk about what, I don't know, maybe you mentioned this in remarks earlier, but what was the break in the case? Because I know that a year ago you said that he was just a person of interest, Kamel Harris that is. What led to the arrest?
The major break in the case was the fact that he had denied that the baby had ever been inside his vehicle. Once we took the vehicle with a search warrant, we tore out the carpeting and recovered the baby's blood in the vehicle.
Commander, and maybe this has been released publicly, but have you ever, or have authorities ever been able to determine the little boy's cause of death?
We have not been able to determine the cause of death, no.
Did you find the blood in the vehicle? Was that recent?
We took the vehicle in November, did a search warrant. Unfortunately, it took several months. I believe it was late July or early August of this year when it was confirmed to be the baby's.
Last November to this July.
Yes.
Commander, do you know what the motive for this was, or what made him led up to the baby being killed?
Based on third-party statements, the baby apparently ingested some milk, and the baby was lactose intolerant and kept crying all afternoon, and he kind of just snapped and couldn't deal with it anymore.
Where was he arrested, Mr. Harris? Where was he arrested?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Where was Mr. Harris arrested?
Where was he arrested? He was arrested at Area North headquarters last night, 2452 West Belmont.
So he was in Chicago.
We writted him out of Winnebago County Jail and brought him to Chicago. He was in custody on an unrelated charge in Winnebago County Jail.
We had some reports that the chase today that ended at Squirrel and Ashland was related to this. Is that not 87th and Ashland? Is that not the case?
No.
No, that case is totally.
Two more. What are the formal charges?
We anticipate that he'll be charged later tonight or early tomorrow morning with first-degree murder and concealment of a homicidal death.
Was there, in reports from a year ago, he had been watching 2 children, supposedly. Was he also watching Kyrian's mom's friend's child? I know that's convoluted. And if so, is that other child okay?
To the best of my knowledge, that other child is okay, yes. That was Kyrian's mom's friend's child.
Was there anything you know in particular about the lagoon that made the diving especially challenging? Was it the silt or murky, or can you talk about any special?
Yeah, the conditions were very tough. The silt was probably 2 to 3 feet deep at certain points. So when the divers we were all in dry suits. So I believe the weather was really warm at that time. So when you're in a dry suit for several hours, we had to worry about the vitals. We had the fire department here checking vitals on the officers and keeping everybody hydrated. So it was pretty tough conditions walking through that heavy muck.
Superintendent, I'm assuming since there have been no formal charges, there's no official mugshot yet?
No, not yet.
That will come with the formal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have an age for Kamel Harris?
I believe he's 41 years of age.
Superintendent or Commander, perhaps you addressed this before. Why the lagoon here if they're from Rockford? Like, what was why did Why did he dump the body there?
The only logical reason, or what we believe, is he grew up here around this neighborhood. Still has family in the neighborhood.
Commander, finally, can you tell us, I know the mother left the baby with Harris because she had to go to work, but why him? Why not take the baby? Was her situation that extreme where she couldn't just bring her baby with? Did she say anything? Did he say anything?
She was starting a new job in Iowa, and until they had gotten settled in, he had agreed to watch the baby for several weeks. That's all I
Guys,
can.
before we break, I want to invite Alderman Irving up. This was a huge shock to the community, and Alderman Irving was very helpful to me. So, sir.
Again, we just want to thank the members of the Chicago Police Department, as well as the superintendent, the detective division, and the DIA team. Those guys work very hard out here under some grueling conditions in a very emotional situation. As a father of a 6-month-old myself, it's hard to fathom why someone would do this to a child. But we are glad that this is the first step in bringing this case to justice, and we want to thank the members of the Chicago Police Department for their hard work on this. Thank you.
Commander, last question. Can you just say your name and spell it for us? Make sure we have it.
Kevin, Kevin, Duffin, like muffin with a D.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? D-U?
D,
Muffin with a D.
like muffin with a D.
And also, and I'm sorry, the diver who spoke, the gentleman.
Say not Kate or
First name? Angel Romero, like Angel.
Thanks,
Can you say
Can you say
microphone?
to the microphone, please? Thank you.
Hey, just step up, sir. Angel, step up.
Thank you. Sorry.
Just repeat it back.
The name Sergeant Angel Romero, R-O-M-E-R-O.
CPD back here.
CPD Marine Unit, yes.
Can I ask one quick
Thanks,
question?
everybody.
Were there any other body parts you found?
No, sir. I might add, there was a lot of shards of glass and a lot of sharp objects that we had to negotiate as well through that, through that lagoon as well. So it was tough.
Wasn't there a woman who was with Harris at the time? Boggs, I think was her last name. They were like, what happened to her? She's not charged?
She is not charged, no.
Thanks, guys. Guys, as soon as he's charged, we'll release them out.